When you can handle snakes the way Abu Zarin Hussin can, you become known as the Snake Whisperer. But when you become known for being with snakes all the time, some people may get the wrong idea about you.
Man marries a 10-feet cobra he believes is his reincarnated girlfriend.
As funny as that headline is, snake handling or living in areas known for venomous snakes can be extremely dangerous. And sometimes they can be slithering in spots you least expect. Others are seemingly immune to snake venom, like Venom Man. And for those who try to test this theory, well, let's just say it doesn't end well. We'll examine a handful of these terrifying encounters and tell you what you should and shouldn't do to survive them. Did Abu actually marry his snake believing it was his girlfriend reincarnated? How did this snake find its way into this toilet? And can anyone become immune to snake venom like Venom Man? Stick around as we slither into all the gruesome details. Let me introduce you to Abu Zarin Hussin, also known as the Snake Whisperer. Abu was a firefighter from Malaysia who became an asset on his team for handling snake emergencies. Following in his father's footsteps as a snake handler, Abu not only loved snakes, but even trained other firefighters in how to deal with them. With his extensive knowledge, Abu taught his coworkers how to identify the venomous ones and how to safely and properly remove them from homes and other public areas. As a hobby, Abu practiced snake-related stunts with his pet cobra. Once he started posting photos and videos of himself and his deadly pet, like going to the gym, watching TV, and working at his computer, he quickly found himself an online audience. This was enough to land him a spot on the popular TV show Asia's Got Talent, and his death-defying act caught the world's attention.
My act is very dangerous.
No, please don't do that.
After a brief stint of fame, the tabloids released an article claiming that Abu had married his snake. With headlines like, "You may hiss the bride," "Man marries a 10-foot cobra he believes is his reincarnated girlfriend," you can only imagine how quickly word spread, turning Abu into an even bigger star. The article claimed the unidentified man is understood to have taken the Buddhist theory that people are reincarnated as animals. But it turns out British tabloids, the Daily Mail and the Daily Mirror, didn't do their due diligence. An anonymous person sent in the photos of Abu and fabricated the whole marriage story. Imagine that, the media missing the mark in order to be the first to get a story out. Who would have thought? When asked about the article, Abu explained it was all a lie. He kept 4 snakes at home to study their behavior. Luckily for him, the tabloids removed the articles. This was just a minor nuisance compared to the pain he's endured, though. Reports claimed he was bitten by venomous snakes at least 8 times and spent 2 days in a coma back in 2015 after a bite. Unfortunately, in 2018, he was bitten by a king cobra during a snake catching operation. And this time, the bite proved fatal. Abu was rushed to the hospital, but the venom was too much for the 33-year-old to handle. The amount of paralyzing neurotoxin a snake releases in its bite will determine your chances of survival. With the king cobra's ability to inject enough venom to kill 20 people with a single bite, Abu didn't stand much of a chance. Its venom targets the respiratory centers of the brain, which can lead to trouble breathing and heart failure. Although there is anti-venom available, time is of the essence. If you get close enough to spot a cobra in the wild, more often than not, they'll scurry away in fear. Keep your distance, and when traveling in areas known for having cobras, wear protective clothing and footwear. It's always better to err on the side of caution. Like almost any animal, when they feel threatened by you and don't see escape as an option, they'll get ready to fight back. Even then, a cobra will usually try to avoid any confrontations. At the very least, they'll give you a heads up, literally, that they're about to strike. Warning signs include loud hissing, raising their body, and spreading out their hood, which makes them appear larger. If you see a cobra doing this, back away quickly. And it may sound crazy, but when traveling in any country known for having a surplus of snakes, you might want to check the toilet bowl before you decide to use it. Snakes can be found all across Asia, with Thailand specifically having abundance of pythons. It's also home to vipers, cobras, and kraits. The good news is that pythons aren't venomous. The bad news? They're often hungry and willing to go to great lengths to find their next meal. Depending on the species, pythons make their homes in rainforests, savannas, woodlands, swamps, and occasionally toilets. With Burmese and reticulated pythons growing lengths of more than 20 feet, you'd think they'd be pretty easy to spot. Well, that's not always the case. They're known for surprising their prey and then slowly constricting tighter and tighter with each breath until their meal is ready to be swallowed whole. With 6 rows of teeth curved backward, pulling the snake away from you isn't your best option for releasing its grip. But when you're in a situation like our next story, sometimes you act before you think. For Terdsak Kaewpangpan, an office worker from Thailand, things were business as usual. That is until he sat on the toilet and felt a sharp pain in his, well, excuse the pun, snake. He told news outlets, "I was about to stand up from the toilet. Then I felt a bite in my penis. I immediately knew it was a snake. I stood up and grabbed the python's head, then pulled it off me. There was blood everywhere. I should have been more careful. I saw a snake in another toilet in the house 2 months ago, so I was using this one instead. But I didn't realize the toilets could be connected." Wait, what? You're telling me he already saw a snake in a different toilet at his work and kept pooping there? Okay, surely he called a plumber. It turns out the workers knew their pipes had a snake problem and would even joke about it with each other. After several weeks of slithering around, the python finally saw an opportunity and took it. The 10-foot reptile was removed shortly after Terdsak was rushed to the hospital, where he received 15 stitches to his manhood. And it seems snakes biting people as they go to the bathroom really isn't all that uncommon in Thailand. Just ask 38-year-old Attaporn Boonmakchuay, who also dealt with a similar snake bite of his own.
All of a sudden, while I was holding it, it began to lose some strength. So I used my hand to pry its mouth open. Then the snake released the grip by itself.
Living in the province of Chachong Sao, just east of Bangkok, Attaporn was getting ready to go to work and decided to quickly use the bathroom. Within seconds, a snake had lunged onto him and, as he put it, it felt as though my penis had been severed. The snake was yanking very hard. Yeah, ouch. After wrestling with it for 30 minutes, Attaporn, his wife, and their neighbor were able to get the snake to release its bite. His wife actually tied a rope around the snake, which allowed him to pry its jaws open. Shortly after, he passed out. Okay, wow, new nightmare unlocked. Kudos to his friends and family for making it through that awkward situation. That's love, people. Thankfully, the python was removed and released back into the wild, and Attaporn was able to make a full recovery. But let this be a lesson for any of you avid travelers. Maybe look down before you do your business. All jokes aside, snakes can come up from the pipes in any city or country where they reside. To avoid this from happening, you'll want to install mesh or wire coverings, especially over open ventilation pipes on your roof. And fill in any cracks or crevices around your home too. If you encounter a python, either in the bathroom or the wild, you'll want to keep your distance. Being aware of your surroundings is your best bet to avoid being ambushed. However, in the unfortunate circumstance that a snake does bite you, do everything in your power to prevent it from wrapping around you. Carrying a pocket knife or even something hard like a stick can also save you. Snakes aren't known for having tough skin, so one good poke may cause it to release and slither off. Now, as I mentioned before, pythons aren't venomous, but many other snakes in this region are. Which makes you wonder, can people find ways to become immune? One man made that his personal mission.
I usually get bites because of accidents, and I get immune because of these accidents. I do frequent bites so that my immunity would be much stronger.
Meet Joe Fernando Quilalon, also known as the Venom Man. This Philippines man started handling snakes when he was just 14. Since then, he's been bitten hundreds of times, and to no surprise, he's taken a few emergency trips to the hospital. In fact, he's almost died 5 times from venomous snake bites. Despite this, he lets a deadly cobra bite him once a week to ensure his immunity is strong. It's like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I guess. But it's not all fun and games for Joe. After one viper bite, he actually had his index finger amputated. With a focus on educating people about snakes and highlighting the importance they have in our ecosystem, Joe got a job with the Philippines Department of Environment and Natural Resources. He's made snake conservation his personal mission in life, and given his superpower, he's a perfect fit for the job. So, is he really immune to snake venom? Sort of. Blood tests determined he has antibodies against cobra venom, but as one researcher put it, to what extent his blood can neutralize the venom, we are not yet sure. The truth is, every time Joe is bitten by a snake, he's risking his life. Different types of venom can affect us in different ways. Neurotoxic venom affects our brain and nervous system and is considered one of the deadliest, with the ability to kill most of us in about 30 minutes. Hemotoxic venom disrupts our blood from clotting and can also cause our organs to stop working, leading to quite a painful death if not treated. And then there is cytotoxic venom, which kills cells it comes in contact with and can be just as painful. It's also useful medicinally. For example, cytotoxic venom can kill cancer cells. But if you or someone you know is going through cancer, please don't go looking for a venomous snake to bite you. Unfortunately, we're not all lucky enough to have superhuman antibodies like the Venom Man, so if you are bitten by a venomous snake, here's what you should do. Immediately wash the wound and lay in a position so that the wound is in a neutral position. For example, if it's your hand, you'll want to hang it by your side below your heart. This will help slow the spread of the venom in your blood. Don't try to remove the venom yourself, like sucking it out, as this can irritate the wound more. You'll also want to avoid painkillers and ice, as this can cause more harm than good. It may increase the risk of bleeding or block blood circulation altogether. From snake catching to snake stunt performers, being the victim of a snake bite isn't always a walk in the park like it is for Joe the Venom Man. While some snakes bite because we mishandle them, others are simply looking for dinner. After spotting a 14-foot python in their home, a family in Thailand called the authorities to remove it. And I'm no professional snake catcher, but as I mentioned earlier, wearing protective gear, like thick boots, never a bad idea. Unfortunately, 40-year-old Danuporn, one of the workers tasked with removing the python, learned this lesson the painful way when the giant snake bit his foot. In Cambodia, a man thought he heard something coming from inside his car. After lifting the hood, he came across more than a busted spark plug. Luckily for him, the huge python nestled in the engine didn't bite him. In another case, a Cambodian factory worker decided to bite back. I gotta hand it to this guy, that's pretty bold. After coming off his shift, 53-year-old Rajit Pan saw a few snake rescuers struggling to remove a 10-foot python from a man's car. It was coiled around different areas inside the hood, and after a 90-minute struggle, the group finally gave up. That is until Pan walked over and bit the python's tail. He explained, "This is an old trick we learned in the jungle. If a snake has caught an animal, then we can bite it to let the prey escape. Just bite the tail and bite it hard. That will make the snake weak." He also mentioned only experienced snake biters should try this, so please, call a professional. Unfortunately, amateur snake catchers don't exercise as much caution when capturing snakes. And for this man, known only as Sonu, it wasn't enough to just remove a snake. Instead, he tried to put on a show as well. Some friendly advice? Never try to kiss a cobra, even if you're trying to plump up your lips. Thankfully, he was able to recover from the bite, but take it from Sonu. Don't try everything you see online. He was trying to mimic a YouTube video he saw and paid the price. And it's cool seeing people do things like this with deadly cobras, but I'm the kind of guy who prefers to admire from afar. And by far, I mean from the comfort of my bunker. I have a great Wi-Fi connection in here. This is also a fun one to watch. Imagine that, a snake biting your tongue. It's crazy what people will do for views, but who knows? If you really want me trekking through the jungles of the Amazon, well, with enough comments and subscribers, we might just make that happen. So now that you know the dangers of snakes and their venom, hopefully you'll think twice about kissing a snake or marrying it. Others see snakes as a good way to test their strength of faith in a higher power.
Cody Coote says he was cleaning snake cages Monday when he was bitten by a 6-foot rattlesnake.
Let's just say snake preaching isn't the most common religion in the world for a reason.
pastor is dead from a poisonous snake bite.
Police say Coots refused medical treatment for the bite at his home on Saturday night.
Check out our video all about it to learn why. We'll see you next time on How to Survive.